Well, hello and welcome back to Scott's Thoughts. I'm Scott Benedict. Today I want to talk about a topic that's been getting an awful lot of attention recently. That's electronic shelf labels, sometimes called ESLs, and the narrative that is emerging around them. If you've been following the news, you've probably seen headlines suggesting that retailers are installing digital shelf labels so that they can engage in real time or what some call surge pricing inside their physical stores. It's a compelling story, but it's also, in my view, largely a misunderstanding of how retailing actually works. Now, let's start with some of the basics. Retail pricing has never been static. Prices change all the time due to things like promotions or markdowns or seasonal adjustments. The cost changes from your supplier, competitive reactions. Anyone that has worked in retailing and particularly in retail merchandising knows that price changes are part of the daily rhythm of a retail business, of retail operations. The difference historically has been how those changes were executed out in physical stores. Now, for decades, updating prices meant printing thousands of paper tags, sending associates down every aisle and manually replacing them one by one. It's very time consuming, it's prone to errors, and frankly, one of the most inefficient tasks in the operation of a retail store. Electronic shelf labels solve that problem. So instead of manually replacing paper tags, the price updates digitally emanate from a central system right to the shelf. It ensures that the shelf price matches what's in the point of sale system in the register. It reduces operational errors, and it frees up a store associate to spend more time doing what actually matters to customers, keeping shelf stock and helping people that are shopping in their stores. In other words, ESLs are primarily an operational technology, not part of a pricing strategy. But the conversation recently around them has shifted towards the idea that retailers are secretly preparing to dynamically raise prices throughout the day. Now, could the technology allow changes in price more quickly? Yes, of course it could. But that capability really already exists today in e-commerce, and yet most retailers still follow very disciplined pricing strategies built around promotions, competitive positioning, and the building over time of customer trust. Retailers understand something very fundamental. Trust is one of the most valuable assets they can have with customers. If customers believe that prices were arbitrarily changing every hour to take advantage of them, the backlash would be immediate, and the retailer would lose far more than loyalty than they ever gained in profit margin. So the real question isn't whether ESLs make price changes faster. The real question is, what are retailers actually using the technology for? And the answer is largely in operational improvements, better pricing accuracy, faster promotions, improved labor efficiency, and more time for store associates to focus on serving customers rather than changing price signs. Those are all real benefits both to the retailer and to the consumer. Now, does that mean retailers shouldn't be transparent about how these tools are being used? Absolutely not. Of course, they should be transparent. Transparency matters. Governance matters. And retailers need to communicate clearly about how this technology is being used to improve the store shopping experience. But what concerns me about the current debate on this technology is that it is being driven in some cases by misunderstanding, or in some cases by people with a broader agenda against technology innovation in retail. Retail has always evolved through technology. Barcodes, point-of-sale systems, self-checkout, RFID, e-commerce. Each one of these innovations sparked concern when they first appeared on the scene, and every one of them ultimately helped make retail more efficient and more responsive to our customers. Electronic shelf labels are simply the next step in that evolution. So rather than assuming something sinister is happening behind the scenes, I think it's far more important and more productive to focus on how retailers can use these tools responsibly, improving operations while maintaining the trust that customers place in them every day. Because in the end of it all, technology doesn't determine the future of retail, leadership does. That's what I've been thinking about. I'm Scott Benedict.